Good afternoon, y'all. What's poppin'? I'm behaving today. Not really. I'm not. Hey, y'all see who on the screen with me?
Hey
Oh
y'all.
snap! Yo, y'all are not even ready. Tag your friend, tag your best friend in the comments that you get hyped with, and go back and forth. Let them know we are on. We are live. Prophetess Chanel E. Martin is in the building. I'm so excited to have this conversation. Hey, y'all, what's up? Y'all let us know who is watching in the comments. And I'll just go ahead and say real quickly, like, this is a whole moment for me. Because I'm trying to tell y'all, and y'all have to, whoever missed this, they'll have to miss it. Hey, Monica, Michelle, what's up, my sis, in the comments. I remember the first time I heard your voice and the way we talk about like how you have to speak up and you have to say something, just do what God tells you to do. That resonates with me so much because I was one of the people who was following you when you were doing live with Chanel at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and you did a live with, oh gosh, I can't think of her name, but she does the like the end of life care for for like families when they have a family member who
Yes,
passes.
Jennifer. Yep.
Jennifer, yes. And so it was a group of us who were grieving in Augusta, Georgia. Shout out to my Augusta fam. And you did a live with her, and I was like, "Where's she gonna be at later?" And then you was in PPD. It was PPYD, prophetically planning for you. It was a long version then, and so I have been following you like from place to place to place to place, and it's like a whole journey. So like when I say I am elated and nervous to have you up here with me, you probably like, "Girl, bye," but no, like Prophetess Chanel is a whole beast out here. She do not play. So I'm like, I got to be correct because Prophetess Chanel will get me together later in the call because she cares about us, like legitimately. And so when you Monica said I was tagging her at 6 a.m. I was, because we were tagging the people in, right? So y'all, we are excited. Prophetess Chanel is here. She is one of the keynote speakers for the Grace for This conference this weekend. Boo. Period. Y'all. Look. Oh my gosh. I have so many things to say. But I will say that Prophetess Chanel is a whole boss. What's up, Jessica? I see you in the comments. A whole boss. She's the CEO of Beyond the Book Media. She's co-founder of Kingdom Business Network. She's the visionary of Prophetic Planning Daily. And I'm so excited because we're going to do a PPD live during the Grace for This conference. Yes, you heard me. We are doing a PPD live. So if you don't understand, if you don't know what it is, if you feel like you have a challenge to hear God's voice, like you need to get up in the room, right? So, Prophet Chanel, how are you doing this afternoon other than the fact that we both need to eat?
Look, I'm over here trying to share this out. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm sharing it out. Join
You
me.
letting the people
And
know.
I'm good.
Let
Look, let me text the folks. Look, I'm trying to put it in a group so people can come. But no, I'm doing great. Tuesdays are really power pack days for me. I think I put all my hard stuff on Tuesday. So I do prophetic planning. I have a staff meeting. All I do is talk. I call it Talk Tuesdays. So of course, scheduling this was right in alignment. It's a day that I'd be cute for sure.
yeah,
Y'all
yeah.
know that's the life hack though. You know that's the life hack.
Playing all your beat stuff on the same day.
Yeah, but like anything that you need to show up and be sharp for, you do it all on the same day. Because the other days you might be tired and it might be a stretch for you to pull yourself together if you ain't got nothing else. But if you know you got to show up, so this a day, we do a good little good natural beat, a good
Mm-hmm.
updo, a good something. Okay. Look, shoulder popping, baby hair is laid, we get a little razzle dazzle. We do that on Tuesdays. When I was doing Wake Up with Chanel, which is probably coming back, the Lord is talking to me about it. I gotta get myself together. But
We
yeah, I do you schedule those things. We ain't even into whatever you want to talk about. But yeah, that's what I've been doing today.
look. That's real life. That is real life. I actually missed the PPD today for the first time in probably all of the years because I got up this morning. Y'all, we are professionals, right? So we're here, we're in this space, and y'all know how we doing Grace for This. We gonna have a conversation, we gonna talk, and the Lord gonna bless it, period, point blank. So I'll say this, like, I talked with your assistant last night. She called in to check in with me, and then my brain was like, "Oh my gosh, you need to do this, and you need to do that, you need to do this," and it was like, "Boom! Hold on, pause, sis. Let's do a little bit of wellness work here, because you're about to overwhelm yourself all in this moment." And that's really the birthplace of grace for this. Is like the wellness piece has to be intact, because the work that I do with my wellness. Let me slow down. The work that I do with my wellness will impact how I show up professionally. And so I had to like sit down, be still, realize that you're prepared for this. You already have your stuff together. The Lord gave you this before 23 came in. You just need a graphic and a link, sis. Calm down. And then I stepped away from it. So, it is just, it takes a lot to do what we're doing, but I'm grateful that God has graced us, for that. And you share a lot. And I'm gonna invite you to kind of share, and you can kind of pick. I guess I invite you to pick one, because you really share a lot of different stories. Yes, logistics overload. You shared a lot inside of the KBN family about how God has gotten you together in your wellness work so that you can show up in PPD and show up in TMM and show up in Beyond the Book Media. Can you share a little bit about some of your wellness work, and how being sensitive to what you need to do has helped you in your professional life?
Absolutely. So, and my wellness is it is what's the word? It is evolving actually. So one of the things that it came in phases. Had to work on my outer and my inner, right? So I started. God wanted me to start looking better and taking better care of my outer. And for me, that immediately translated to my inner. Now, some people are different. I've heard stories where if I don't feel good on the inside, I'm no good on the outside. But for me, it was, if I don't feel good on, like, my outside is going to mess up everything. So I had to be intentional about making sure that my that my outside matched what I wanted to feel on the inside. So does that make sense? Like, so it started with, how am I showing up?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first thing. And the next thing was, once I started that, I had to develop a routine that I could be consistent. I had to be consistent. Y'all, I'm so sorry, y'all. I told you I hadn't ate. And look, can we be real here? They talking about they can't find my address. Look, I'm finna get the Uber Eats
She
people my
trying to get this
food now.
DoorDash, this Uber
I
Eats order.
we just having all kind of problems. And I got to send these Uber Eats people. Look, this what happen when you get me on there and not be for real. So sorry if you see me over here looking, because I'm
She trying to get
uh
her food together. So
I
look. Well, let's say this. While you're doing that, they are in the comments agreeing with you. We're seeing consistency is key, and that absolutely makes sense. Because sometimes, whoo, honey, sometimes all we have is a show up, and that's it. You only showing up on the outside for other people. Your presentation is what it is, and that's really what my experience was up until my husband passed. I was giving, serving. I knew what I was supposed to look like. I knew what I needed to wear. I didn't start planning makeup till a little bit later, but that came too, right? And so, we get accustomed to making sure our presentation to others is good, but we have not assessed what's going on in our inner. And so they get further and further and further and further and further apart. And then after a while, you don't even know who you are, but you know how to show up and present something to somebody else, and you just a shell of yourself. So that's 100%, 100% accurate. And we gotta. I feel like that's like daily work. Like, I'm getting to a place now where I would ask myself the questions like, all right, are you doing? Why do you want to do that? Is it like really about you? Like, it's
okay,
about who you're
okay, I'm
talking to?
good. Okay,
Okay.
I can get in. I can get in. I can go in. All right. So look, I was like, I'm hungry. I'm glad we started off telling the people that I was hungry. I'll make sure that I'm not hungry on Saturday. Okay.
We gonna
Because
have food. Look. We do have lunch included inside of your registration, y'all.
Praise,
So don't worry
praise
about
God.
food.
Okay, there we
We're gonna
go.
make sure
Look,
we
look, look.
eat.
No, I knew that. I knew that. No, okay. So it started with how I had to develop a consistency routine to look how I wanted to look and be and relentlessly pursue that. So it's in my budget. Nails are in my budget. Pedicures are in my budget. Lashes are in my budget. Eyebrows, waxes, hair. It y'all did just put in the comments. It's in the budget. Okay. That's where some of us are messing up. We're not putting in the budget. As a mom of four, I didn't put those things in the budget. I would all the kids would have been having the latest and greatest hairstyles and shoes. Because first of all, why my kids need the latest and greatest hairstyles? They don't make no money. They cost money. They about to get these afro puffs. If I got to choose between who getting their hair done, can I be real with y'all? Like me, I need so I had to put it in. I had to put it in my budget, and that's how I'm able to stay consistent. Some stuff I put on. I got myself on a subscription, so I'm paying for it regardless. So I need to use it. I'm booking appointments ahead of time, like and for some that don't understand that this is who part of my show up and being my wellness routine. Because if I'm out here looking broke, bust, and disgusted, I can't. I'm no good to none of y'all. Because now that's a big part of who I am. So that's the once I started taking care of like the physical, then I started trying to make sure that my body was good. So I started working out and eating healthy. So I have a pretty decent healthy eating routine, and then also like working out is super important to me. One of the things I always tell everybody, KBN bought me a treadmill. Yeah, y'all bought me a treadmill. I don't know what back in that when everybody was rich in 2021 and in the top of 2022, really 2021, everybody was rich. And y'all used to just be I used to get all kind of cash apps. And I forgot what y'all cash
I
app.
received those in my life.
Look, I
My
was
birthday is tomorrow. I
oh
will
yeah,
be posting my
oh yes. Okay, yes, y'all got the cash app Kanisha for her birthday. It was Women's Month. It was Women's History Month. And I had got like a cash app. I had got like a big old cash app. And I said, I bought a treadmill. How many of y'all would do that? I bought a treadmill. And I bought the top of the line treadmill. They weren't, I wanted the Peloton, but they had stopped it for a second. So I bought like the top of the line, most elaborate treadmill with the big old screen that you can have. So I did that. Um, yeah, so I did that. So I bought the most top of the line treadmill that you could possibly have, and so I can start using that. So now I do a walk every day. I do a minimum of 30 minutes walk a day. And then I do workout, do some home workouts. I do have a gym membership. I'm about to cancel it. For a minute, I needed the gym membership. So you got to figure out what season you're in. So I needed the gym membership because I needed to see the other people in order to be motivated. But now I'm in a season where I'm very, very, very self-motivated because I like the body that I'm building.
Come
And I
on,
want to
body.
keep her.
Addy.
Look, I want to keep her. So I don't need as much motivation so we can discontinue that. So then that was like my outside, my inside, I see a therapist.
Come, huh? Oh God.
I sure do. I see a therapist regularly. So
Yes.
I see my therapist every 2 weeks.
Must.
We have an appointment and I get to talk and throw up on her all the stuff, all the
Ooh, God.
drama. What's another part of my self care routine? I really got my self care routine got disrupted when I got sick. I haven't been, but in the outside of me getting sick, daily Bible reading, daily Bible reading, daily listening to like audiobooks, educational content. So
Period.
all of those things is like very regimented. So hopefully y'all was like, whoo, when she got time to do stuff. I just squeeze it into the time. The little hack. I like to give life hacks, right? So like I'll do my Bible reading while I'm walking on the treadmill. So I know I'm going to be
Yeah.
on there for 30 minutes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I also do I also do listen to like my audiobooks. So when I do book reading, I'm only doing audiobooks because who got time? I'm doing audiobooks. And what I'm doing on my audiobook is I am listening to it when I'm taking my shower, when I'm getting dressed, when I'm doing my hair, when I'm doing my makeup, and when I'm driving. Or like when I clean up, like I'll wash dishes and put my earpods in. So it's not like I'm adding those two things into routines and things that I'm already doing so that it's not like extra. So that's my wellness routine, y'all.
Look, y'all, that's the from the boss CEO of 15 things herself. This is how you get it all done. You stack things. You have to stack them on things that don't require you to intellectually pull. Like you don't need to think about washing dishes. You can do that with muscle memory. Listen to a book while you washing the dishes. You know how to walk. You've been walking for a long time. Come on, Jesus. Let's listen to something else while you're actually walking on treadmill. That's good. Yeah. Yes,
I
that is
see
good.
Ladora's comment. She said, I was thinking, when does she have time to get her nails done or lashes? The math ain't mathing. Look, I'm going to tell you what I do. So, first of all, you have to schedule it. So, like, we have a certain amount of time on our calendars, right? And people are booking appointments with us and talking to us. I'm going to block off my time. Like, it's my
Yeah.
own appointment to myself. So, you can't book me.
Look. Hashtag me time on the calendar
You
invite.
have to.
Period.
It's on my calendar. Look, it's on my. I see. I see Jessica on here. She do my calendar. She'll tell you. She'll tell you that it be like lashes, massage. Because when it don't be on my calendar, see, y'all know what y'all do. I'm gonna tell you what y'all do. Y'all put it in y'all minds. Like, oh, on Friday, I'm gonna go get such and such done.
Yeah.
And it never gets done.
Mm-hmm. If it's an appointment, it registers differently versus, oh, I'm going to go do so and so. We say I'm gonna do a lot of stuff throughout one day. We do that a lot in 15 minutes. But when you lock that thing in, put it on your calendar and book that time with yourself. Like if everything has an assignment, and if you give your time an assignment, it's going to understand the assignment. And you will get in order with the assignment that you're giving your time. So who's in charge? Are you in charge or is the time in charge? Like we really have to exert that authority in our lives because we got a lot of stuff with managing and a lot of, the women who are following Grace for this are authors. And we're gonna talk about these books, y'all. A lot of the women in Grace for this are authors. Y'all are mothers. Y'all have brands that you are building and you have to prioritize what you're doing. You still got to have time to go sit with God and read your Bible. Like we have to organize our time. It's stewardship. Honestly, it's stewardship. And we're accountable for how we steward what God has given us. So let's do a stewardship check and think about what you have going on, like with yourself. Like I need to schedule meals. Like legitimately, I need to schedule meals because I'm content and I'm happy working because it connects to productivity, which is validation for me. But that's not necessarily healthy because I'll keep working and working and working and working. And then my body will be real fine, but my insides will be dilapidated and malnourished because you lost weight because you ain't eat no food, So I have to watch stuff like that. So thank you for sharing those tips. And I want to get into these books. And it's so much that we can even say about books or authoring or like beyond the book media. And one of the things that was so big when I connected to your voice and connected with PPD, I did not hear God the way I hear God now.
Wow.
I'll never forget the first time I came over into Clubhouse because I wasn't in Club. Like y'all brought us, y'all bring a lot of people back to Clubhouse because we left Clubhouse, but we come back for PPD and KBE and rooms and the round tables and Wednesday prayer and everything. Like so y'all are holding Clubhouse up right now, literally. But can you talk a little bit about the discipline and how you arrived to doing like the PPD and prophetically planning and God's kingdom scribe? Like I want people to understand that because I did not write. All I do now is write. And I'm like, I think my post is too long because I could just sit and I can just write and write and write. But talk a little bit about that.
So in a season of my life before I got super, 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 super busy, I don't even do as much writing as I used to. but like I needed to hear God and um like maybe I would talk to God and he would give me some answers. And I realized that if I wrote it down, I would remember it.
At the least.
Excuse me. So what I started doing, I have books upon books. I save them too. I have books upon books upon books upon books upon books of me asking God questions and then just write them down. Like I think if I were to go back, it starts in high school.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it starts in high school. One of my first times remembering, one of my first times that I can remember prophetically writing was I wrote a monologue and it was entitled Cry of a Slave.
Mm.
And it was for a pageant that I was getting ready to participate in, and I needed to do a talent portion. I needed to do a talent portion. So I ended up sitting down and I had wrote a monologue, like just for myself, because I low key think I'm a comedian. I really do think I'm funny. One day I'm gonna do a whole. I did a comedy piece about
Stand
this woman, this older church lady that had lost her shoes. Okay, that lost her blue suede shoes, and I read it to my mom, and my mom was like, "Wow, that's good. It may not be appropriate because she's. I guess I was a little bit too jokey.
all the
So she was like,
jokes.
yeah, I did. It was. I had all the jokes. Like it was about this lady. Like the shoes sitting in front of her. She was going around asking everybody, "Have you seen my blues?" It was the whole thing. I need to see if I can find that. But anyways, long story short is, I did not know. I didn't know what to write. I said, okay, I knew I need to do a monologue. So I go to the public library. Yes, I'm that old. I go to the public library with a CD player Walkman.
Oh, was it yellow?
No, it was silver. It was a Sony. It was a
Okay.
Sony CD player Walkman. And I go to the store, I go to the public library, and they had like a music session. I don't know how I knew to do this. It must have been Holy Spirit. I have no idea how I knew to do this. So I was looking for inspiration and I was gonna write to the music. Okay.
Mm.
So I found this song I found this soundtrack. I was looking for soundtracks, and the only soundtracks they had a soundtrack from the movie Beloved,
Hmm.
and it was just all instrumentals. And I
Wow.
listened to the soundtrack. Said, "Okay, God, this is what I want you to help me write." And when I listened to the music, this is why we have music doing PPD. I was like transported to like a location and I wrote down what the music was saying to me. I
Wow.
didn't know I was a prophet then.
Wow.
So it ended up being a story about a young slave girl who witnesses her mother getting beat to death before her very eyes. And the slave owner, um, the mother decides that she's going to die with dignity, and
Mm.
he's trying to mock her in front of her daughter, and the mom had had enough and was just like, don't you, she stands there, she takes the lashings, so she literally gets beat to death in front of the daughter, and the daughter is watching, and daughter's pleading like, mom, please, please, take off your clothes, just take off your clothes, because the slave owner's like, you need to take your clothes off, and she's like, I ain't taking my clothes off. He said, and he wanted to mock her because she had these lashes on her back. Yeah, I promise you, this got to be God. She has all these lashes on her back, and she's looking at her daughter. She's like, I'm not doing it. And she just stands there. The daughter's like pleading. The mom is standing there still. And then all of a sudden, the slave owner is like mocking her, beats her. And then he kicks her, laughs, says, this is what happens to you when you don't do what I say, walks off. The daughter comes, is holding her mom, and is detailing her mother taking her last breath.
Wow.
I mean, it's a very powerful monologue. I need to go pull it out. I used to study theater. I studied theater and screenwriting. So I'm actually very gifted in monologue writing. So I write this monologue and I'm like, and I go back and read it. And I'm like, did I write
Wow.
this?
Wow.
I didn't know what I wrote. It was like it read like a movie. It was a movie. that is an award-winning monologue.
Wow.
I won pageants, talent competitions. I would do it and it would be not a dry eye in the audience. Y'all, that was prophetic writing. There
Wow.
was no way in my natural self I didn't see that. So I started utilizing the same concepts. I do got to find it. You know what? I do need to find it. I
Yeah.
saved it. I wrote it in. I'm gonna talk to my husband about it. I wrote it and sent myself an email in an old email that I don't use, and I just got to figure out how to get into my email account. But once I figure out
Mhm.
how to get into my email account, we're gonna make it rock. All
Yeah.
right, cool. So I end up I end up taking that monologue, and it won me scholarships. Um, it won me all kind of opportunities from that one monologue. So I started I started doing that process for like to hear God and for other creative works. I get to college and I had to produce some stuff. I closed my eyes. I'm like, all right, God, how we finna put this thing together? Writing down what I see. I remember going to college and producing a pageant like that. I did a fashion show like that. I was asking God what was the theme, and the Lord showed me. We made this fashion show a theme around. We made it a movie premiere theme for the fashion show, and I wrote down all the scenes and everything that we were gonna do, and it was like phenomenal. Okay, all right, can I do that with, now I'm a business owner, can I do that with marketing strategy? God, all right, how am I gonna we had to launch a hair analysis system. We were introducing new technology in my first company, Myavana, and I was like, I don't know how to do this, and I close my eyes, I get me some music, and I write down, and before you know it, I done mapped out a whole everything. So hold on one second, y'all. My
That's
Uber driver here. I'll let you.
that's
I pause for you to
yeah. That's a good point to pause because I want to connect some dots because what Prophetess Chanel just walked us through was operating in her gift as a child. And y'all are mamas. I heard this is what I heard, Prophet Chanel. I heard PPD Junior, like, us getting together and 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 working with the babies, y'all. I'm gonna say this while she's handling that. Like, most of us are moms, and we understand that our children have gifts. Like, y'all know, like, the five, we are born with our gifts in us, right? So, like, for those of y'all who have little people and you're watching them and you're seeing their gifts, you're seeing the leader in them, you seeing, look, y'all, we are raising little apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers, little administrators. Like, that is who we're parenting and raising. So, like, we have to model for them. We have to model for them um how to sit and be disciplined and hear the voice of God. So I can totally see us collaborating. I have some sisters in the comment. Our sister Jamaica, we're always in PPD together, like, have a passion for, her brand is Inspired to Express. And she's passionate about helping young people figure out how to express their creativity, right? Helping the creators create. Like, I love that. And so if you can look back and identify that you were prophetically writing at, I don't remember what age you were, but I think that's amazing. And we're in a season of acceleration. Like, God ain't playing with us. And so our children have really big calls on their life. And then he deals with mantles and anointing. So if we're operating in authority and a grace, your babies are called to this too. And so we have to be ready to really go ahead and train. They say train them up. Like, we need to train them for 5. We got some end time warrior babies, y'all. Like, it's not a game out here. It's
so
not a game out here.
I want to intervene there because I know I kind of dropped off for like 2 seconds, but yeah, I didn't know. So that's why, kind of going into the Kingdom Scribes piece. So with Beyond the Book Media, uh, we help people write books. With PPD, we help you hear the voice of God for anything. And then Kingdom Scribes, what I feel like God has shifted me towards is like the overarching thing, content thing, creating media. That's like the subset brand of Beyond Book Media. We're definitely still publishing books, right? We're definitely still doing all the things.
Mine.
Yes, we're definitely doing that. But there's another subset that God is really, I mean, when I tell you God is pulling me back to that creative space that I grew up in, that a lot of people don't know, that my new audience, those of you who've been following me only the past few years, if you don't even know that exists. I'm animated and I do the most, but there is another creative side that I think God has given me permission to really use in this season. Yeah, to give you permission. Yeah, because everything's for a season. And just even talking about our babies, I really do think that, dang, you got a point. Like, I was doing this in grade school. Nobody told me to do this. Like, I think it was just a life hack, right? Like, it was like, okay, I will say this. I talk about it in my book, 31 Prayers for Spiritual Wealth. And what it is my mama and my grandmama taught me how to pray. And my grandmama told me I could ask God anything. I really believe that. I tell that story all the time. So if I wanted to know the answers to a test, I would ask God for the answers to the test. If I wanted to have information about anything, I would just ask. And I know that sometimes our Christian doctrine goes against questioning God. If I didn't understand why if the math wasn't mathing for me, if it wasn't computing, I would ask questions. And so I think that developed a level of intimacy with God from a young age, because I wasn't forced into having some certain mindset about how to have a relationship with God. I was able to freely have a relationship with God. I think I was very blessed and fortunate. I know that's not most people's stories.
That's good. What you just said was your relationship with God developed freely without form and fashion. And a lot of us come up with the form and the fashion. And so it does not afford us the liberty to I guess pursue a relationship with God that is without walls, because we think this is the way. There is a way. You got to
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I want to tell you why I think it is. I just realized this, because God can use what the enemy meant for bad for good. Can I tell you why I think it worked out in my favor? I just had this revelation like a week or two ago. Yeah, I was diagnosed with ADHD. I know, it makes a whole lot of sense, right? I was diagnosed with ADHD.
They tried. My mom was like,
I was diagnosed. I'm not gonna claim it, but I was diagnosed with ADHD. Okay. And so what does that mean? That means I ain't never paying attention, or I struggle. See, as an adult, I learned practices. I got mature in figuring out how to manage it, but it went undiagnosed for years. So that means I never paid attention. I never paid attention longer than like 5 milliseconds. So if I was in church, I was not paying attention. So whatever was given to me, I had to go figure it out on my own. So and I still had the curiosity. So maybe the pastor preached a word. My brain was all over the place. I wasn't paying attention. But what I did do, I don't know why I did this. Kanisha, I went home and read the Bible for myself. Like I did, because I couldn't remember. I didn't know what was happening.
What he said.
I was like, and I would take these notes because I'm trying not to fall asleep. So I'm taking these notes, and now I'm going back and reading the Bible because I'm kind of curious, because something caught my attention. I'm like, oh, well, we studied. So I'm reading it's crazy. This is a crazy story. So
I love it.
So that's that. I think like even that anomaly, like when I tell you we are formed for who we're in fashion, for who we're supposed to be, I really think that thing made me not pay attention. I wasn't paying attention so bad, y'all. You didn't want to sit next to me at church
because you still were hungry though. And see, when you have an appetite, you're going to go after what it is that you desire, and you don't have to go a specific path. So the fact that you still had a desire, your grandma and your mama had, and your mom had laid enough foundation in you to know, okay, this is the place, but you're gonna have to go get it on your own. So I very much resonate with that, because the whole ADHD piece, like I have a lot of friends in my circle and we have a hard time focusing because I just say we got a whole lot of genius, and you have to figure out how to manage your genius. You got to like figure out where to put this piece of your genius and where to put that, and then what does that connect to, and then come back to it later. And because we're talented, we're gifted, we're intellectuals, like it's a whole lot to manage you. Like we have a lot to us, and I love the fact that in Grace for This we're about community conversation and collaboration, because your wellness work is preparing you to build what help you heal. And I look at you and I see you building what helped you heal. Like the journey that you have had has led you to very specific places, and so you come back now and you create communities and platforms for other people to navigate through, certain parts of their journey. So even with the writing journey, and you last time we talked, you shared about some of the dreams you had about like dealing with the books, and realized that you were called to authors. Like that is something that is on you, and I would like for you to share it if you can. We're getting close to time, y'all, but I really want people to understand, because let me tell you something, I be on folk, I be like, about your book you writing on, but you gonna write a book. That's gonna be, what's your book title? I do that all the time, because there is something in us and it's got to come up out of us. There are people waiting, they're listening for a voice to respond to, and the earth is groaning and quaking because we have not released our voices and our stories into the earth. So we can't play with it. We really have to do it. And I believe that what Beyond the Book Media is doing, what Kingdom Scribes is doing, what PPD is doing, is all laying foundation for the book of Kenitra, and the book of Jessica, and the book of Ladora, and the book of Jamaica, and the book of Kayla, the book of Deborah. She already got hers. Jamaica has some, but there are more. Like, don't stop with the 1, 2, or the 3. As long as you live and you got a story to tell. So can you speak to that real quick? Because I'm talking fast now. Look.
You're good. We go over it a little bit. It's fine. So, okay. Y'all know I'm such a storyteller. I bet you when I start telling my life now, I'll be making sense why I act the way I act. Because I'm an actress at heart. But when I always tell a story about books, like I didn't see myself publishing any books initially. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even know if I would even write a book. I figured I'd write a play or a script. Well, I figured one of those would get published before I even went into book writing, if I were to ever do something like that. And I started, my very first book I wrote was a fundraising book. And that was, I've already told y'all that story. That's because I wanted a couch. All right. Hit me up later if you want to hear that story. It's hilarious. So I do that ebook, and it was just an ebook. And then all of a sudden now I'm getting booked to speak, and folks want me to coach them and teach them. And I'm just like, I wanted was a couch. I didn't know all this was going to come out of this. Like literally, I was so confused. And at first I was like sending people to other coaches. And then that's when Holy Spirit was like, girl, they for you. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to coach people? I just want a couch. So I had no idea. Like, so I promise you, I'm so green. I promise you, I'm so green on everything. I just don't be knowing what's going on. So finally, I watched how that really, man, in one of the most difficult times when my family was going through, my husband was laid off, I had coaching clients, and I was a stay-at-home mom. Like, I was carrying our household for a bit. And God set that up from a book. So then, okay, I still hadn't drew the connection, y'all. Still ain't drawn the connection. So then move on to, Lord tells me to actually write a book, because I didn't consider that a book. That was like a fake book. I was like, that's an ebook.
Did you say fake book?
It did. In my brain, it was a fake book, but it got me paid. Okay, so that's why I love little books. I call them little books. They're good. Man, little books give you big money. So
noted.
Yeah, the little book, because people get, if you can listen, hear me and hear me clearly. Don't nobody want to read your 300-page book. Get the people the information they need and quickly, so they can go implement it and come back and get the next thing. Okay, so I do that. I end up spending that into courses. I milked that thing. Y'all hear me? I milked that little fundraising ebook like it wasn't nothing. So now I write my next book, which is 31 Prayers for Spiritual Wealth. I call that was my first real book, right? That was the one I actually printed and did everything. And that book ushered me into ministry. That was when I stood in my office. This is even pre-ordination. And now I started building like a Christian entrepreneur network. Now it wasn't a KBN, but I started building another network for entrepreneurs. I started really speaking into them and praying for them. It was a slow platform. So that's what that book did. And then I used to combine like my knowledge for business. So then I combined my business knowledge from coaching with my prophetic knowledge and faith-based knowledge. And it built it really, if we're being completely honest, it's the foundation for Kingdom Business Network. Let me just be really clear. It was the foundation for that. I did not know that was coming. So then I go and write my next book, which is God Bless the Scribe. Again, out of obedience. And this is just a journal. And I say just, but it's a journal. It's not even a huge novel or anything. And out of God Bless the Scribe, God birthed prophetic planning. Mm-hmm. So that's when God is talking, even I had the revelation before, but as I give you guys my track record, God birthed movements out of these books. Yes. Money came out of these books. And it wasn't the fact that I made the book, because it's not just about the book. It's about the message inside the book and what you're willing to do after the book. Because some of y'all write books and you think, okay, I wrote a book, I was obedient, and there's so much more. And so that's why our company's name, the Lord literally gave us the name Beyond the Book Media. He told me, you are going to take people beyond the book. And so that it would never just be a regular publishing company. It could not just be you give us your book, we do I always have to talk about what's next for the author. And so, hopefully that makes sense.
Look, so having said that, when y'all get up in this room, because Chanel is the closer, okay? Don't miss this, because we yield to the Holy Spirit around these parts. Like, for real, for real. And if you are that person who is trying to figure out what your next step is, and you're trying to get clarity about what's going on, like, and even on the wellness work side, like, you can't do one without the other. I strongly advise against it. Don't try to do one without the other, because it is all connected. And when we get in this room on Saturday, God is going to weave a beautiful picture out of the parts of your life that make no sense to you. And it's going to come together, and then he's going to dispatch you. Oh, this is your assignment. Go and do it. Like, it's all coming together. It is. I'm trying to tell you, the way the Lord told me to lay out the agenda understands the assignment.
Who, Chad? I looked at that agenda. I said, okay, you put me last for a reason. I said, oh Lord, what?
Period.
What we gonna be in there doing? I said, oh God, look, I'm laughing.
And you know what? Like, seriously, like, God is giving us a charge.
Yeah.
Like, he's giving us a charge, and it is time for us to respond. And shout out to Jan Mitchell, Miss JSM. She's our other keynote speaker. So she's the starter and you're the closer. So y'all are amazing. And I'm so excited because she's gonna start us, like, she's gonna get us together. Lord have mercy, Jesus. If you ain't seen that live we did, the devil was blocking us. But we pieced the live together from Instagram, from YouTube to Instagram. And it was a get yourself together and stop letting the trauma and the triggers dominate you, and go ahead and push into this triumph. And then when you walk to the triumph, then you are healing, and you can go back and build what helped you heal from somebody else. We are all on assignment. If you in this live, you are on assignment. If you've been connected, and I met somebody today, and I don't know if she's still in the comments, but the Holy Spirit told her to reach out to me today, and she in this live today. Like, God ain't playing with us. He out here playing chess. We used to checkers, game over. We're not doing it. We're not doing it anymore, because there are people who are waiting for us. And so, and here I go. I'm finna start, and tell me when I run out of time. But what we got to be careful with, because grace for this is for women of faith. I'm talking to my folk. We save, we know God, we got relationships. But there's some things about us that are church, and God has called us to be the kingdom. We got to cross over. And when you open up your mouth and tell the truth and are honest and courageous in your conversation about what you really been through, that's what's going to help snatch people out the fire. the fire.
Oh
If we
Lord.
lift God up in what we have been through, he will draw the men unto him. Like, come on. But you got to lift him up. You got to tell the story. So let's quit hiding. Here it go. Our producer,
I'm
Dr.
already
Tune,
feeling
talked about
this.
that thing last night. Quit hiding, y'all. Come out of hiding. Invest in yourself. Go in the rooms where you know you're connected to the voices in that room, because God has something for you. And he's not finna keep playing with us about, oh, I got something for you. You're not finna keep praying. I'm getting loud. I apologize. We're not finna keep praying and asking him for what we need, and he keeps showing up with the thing, and then we don't show up. No, we're not doing that no more. So Prophet Chanel gonna be here Saturday. Jan coming down from Indianapolis. She getting flued out, and we're gonna have these conversations. We're gonna get this word. The word of the Lord gonna come forth. I know the prophetic is gonna be up in there, because that's just how we flow, and it's going to be a milestone moment for you. We are moving from trauma to triggers to triumph. Mark this weekend as the day your life changed. And I'm going to say this, and Prophet Chanel, I'm going to pass it back to you. And however you are led, go ahead. But I'm going to tell y'all this. God ain't playing with y'all, because I left my job on June the 10th last year.
Wow.
The conference is what? June the 10th this year. What will God do in a year if you submit to the yes? I have no idea. I had no idea. When I left my job, I thought I was building a nonprofit. And I spent a good year building the nonprofit. And he said, okay, now go do this. When I went into Brand Author Academy, I thought I was writing a book to get ready for the nonprofit. He said, no, you writing the Grace for This, because you got the community. I done built your audience. I done built the brand. You finna write a book for Grace for This. And so we're here. But you got a Grace for This story. You need to walk in whatever your DC is and quit playing with it. I'm a hush. Go ahead, Prophet.
First of all, I'm excited. I'm like, let me make sure I got some stuff to touch up, some makeup, before I get, you said, I'm excited for the keynote speaker. I'm excited to meet you guys. I'm excited for the whole day. It's an honor, Kenitra, for you to invite me to speak. So I'm very grateful for that. I'll say this. What I'm going to talk about is going to transform your life. In my session, you are going to be motivated to do what you got to do and convicted. I will also say this. I'm so grateful that you're going to give me permission to flow, because I can almost guarantee by the time we finish, you guys will be pulling on me so hard prophetically that it's going to be bananas. It's going to be bananas. So I believe that those of you that are coming, you about to get your answers.
Thank you.
I know you're going to get your answers.
That part.
You're going to get your answers from not just from me and from all the speakers, from the experience. You guys need to get in the room. There are some things you just need to show up for. The networking. Yes, I always tell people, have an expectation. So since y'all all coming already, go ahead and have an expectation. The more you expect of me, I'm just going to tell you, me as a speaker, the more you pull on me, I'm very sensitive to what I start hearing thoughts. The more you are expecting of me, the more God will deal with you. Okay. So you guys definitely need to have an expectation for God to show up. And if you were contemplating and you were thinking that you had a choice, if you anywhere near Augusta, Atlanta, and you can get down there, and you thought that you could just not go, I'm just here to tell you that you need to go ahead and get your ticket. You still got time. We know I call it the last minute ministry. Y'all the toughest crew. Last minute ministry. Y'all roll so thick. We got space for you too, okay?
Oh gosh. Yeah, the last Grace for the last minute crew. Grace for the last minute crew. But you know what? The last minute crew gonna lead next year.
Oh, absolutely. Because they're gonna say, oh, I ain't gonna never be last minute on this. Because when you do it next year and it's bigger and better, and they're gonna be mad if it gets sold out. Ooh. I know one time I went to a conference, Kenitra, and it was my first time, and I had never went. And I think I was last minute ministry, I was like, I can get my ticket, and I just waited. And the person who was hosting, they kept saying, you gonna get your ticket? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get my ticket. I'm like, I'm gonna get the ticket. I probably got the ticket at the last minute. Do you know at that conference, By the time at the end of the day, they had the next year's conference. Who pulled out their phone and bought their
Right.
ticket? Right? I said, oh,
QR code scanning.
I was exactly. I was like, oh, I ain't missing this. I ain't missing this. So
Yeah.
I feel like you guys are gonna have that experience on this weekend. So thank you, Kanitra, for having me. And I'm excited to meet you, Miss JSM, and
A hundred
everybody.
percent. 100%. I tagged this comment up here. This is Deborah, and Deborah won the free ticket to the conference. She shared from her author page. She shared from her personal page. She was sharing. I said, "Well, Deborah got it. I did the spinning wheel. It went in the stories, but Deborah won, and so I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. So y'all, that is the deal. Get registered. Get whatever you need to do. Y'all get in the room. This is not the opportunity that you want to miss. And like Prophet Chanel said, you've been praying, you've been waiting, you've been considering, you've been perseverating, you've been going back and forth. This is this decision that you need to make. Go ahead and commit to it, and look for what God is going to do after your yes. Y'all, it's so much connected to our yes. Moses had to put the rod in the water, and then the water would split. But Joshua stepped out, and the water moved as he went forward. We got to just go with God. That's the season that we are in. So again, y'all, if y'all ain't following Prophet Chanel, make sure you are following her. I know most of us probably are, but if you don't know, you finna find, you done found out some today. She is going to lead us in a PPD live. This is her first time speaking, not at one of her branded events. So we're excited to host her and to make sure that it is really an amazing experience. So we will see y'all at the conference on Saturday. We will be back up live at 5 p.m. I am a guest with our sister Robin Jones, who is one of our panelists on the writers panel. Yes, writers, this is for y'all. This is for y'all to heal and write and get your business together. We giving you all the sauce, baby, from top to bottom. Y'all better get in here, okay? So watch for that at 5 o'clock. You can also sign up to get text messages. You can text KMKA to 54244 if you want to get a text message about what's coming, because we do these pop-ups, and you got to just be in the loop about what's going on. So you can text KMKA to 54244. That means Kenitra Moselle Kingdom Advocate. That is the name of our YouTube channel, Kingdom Advocate, because we about this kingdom and community. All right, having said that, me and Prophetess Chanel both need to go eat. So we'll holler at y'all round the way. Thank you, Prophetess Chanel. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you this weekend.
Yes. Bye, you guys.
Bye, y'all. Peace out.